A Guten Erev Shabbos. When I was in 6th grade, I had a teacher that wasn't all that good. I could tell you that now as an adult. And I'd regularly complain to my father about this teacher. My father listened, was a little bit sympathetic, made recommendations to me of how I could change what I do, and that was that. And I think he was teaching me a very, very important lesson. And let me explain. In this week's Parsha, the Torah tells us that we begin counting the Omer the day after Shabbos. Now, the way the rabbis understand the day after Shabbos, it doesn't mean Shabbos as in the 7th day of the week. It means, in this context, the day after the first day of Pesach. The Tzedukim, the Sadducees, they understood that Shabbos to mean the day after the 7th day of the week. So while as we start counting the Sefira every year on a different day of the week, depending on when Pesach starts, the Sadducees always start on a Sunday because it starts the day after Shabbos. Now, there was once a conversation between Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and one of the leaders of the Sadducees. The leader of the Sadducees, of the Tzedukim, he says to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he says, Moshe Rabbeinu, God loved the Jewish people. So he always arranged that Shavuos came out right after Shabbos. This way there was a 48-hour break, 2-day vacation. So, to which Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said, if God loved the Jews so much, why did he have them wander through the desert for 40 years? Now this is a very unusual conversation. It sounds like the Sadducee, the Tzedukim, are expressing that God and Moshe Rabbeinu love the Jewish people, while Yochanan ben Zakkai is questioning that. What Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was actually saying, he says, no, let's define what love means. Love doesn't mean pampering somebody. I mean, that's the difference between grandparents and parents. Grandparents pamper their grandchildren. But as parents, we know that love doesn't just mean allowing children to do what they want, whatever they want to do, and just giving them things. Love means helping them deal with situations that life throws at them. So Yochanan ben Zakkai says the Jews specifically struggled 40 years in the desert because through that process, they grew as individuals, they grew as a people. And that's the love that God has for the Jewish people, to let them learn from their experiences, from their difficulties, from their hardship, and overcome. And I think that was the lesson that my father was teaching me. He was teaching me that, life, you're not necessarily going to have only good teachers. You're not only going to have good situations, but if you can deal with it, overcome it, unless, God forbid, it's an abusive situation, of course, I'm sure that my father would have dealt with it differently. But if it's just the teacher doesn't speak to you the appropriate way, or you're not doing that well, work through it. And the process of working through it, you'll grow as a person, and you'll, at the other side of that, you'll be better prepared to deal with life. Have a wonderful Shabbos.